I'm here at CPAC with the founder of Dad Talk Radio. Tell us, what made you start this Dad Talk Radio show?
So I was going through similar issues as a lot of our listeners are. I went through a divorce, and I was raising 2 daughters on my own. And then I went through another breakup with a woman I had a child with. And when she found out I had started dating, this is a year after we broke up, she just started keeping me from my child. I get out to a couple of different family lawyers. It's all about money. If you don't have money, you can't fight for your kids. And I knew what this was like. I lost my job about a year and a half ago. They sold out and completely shut the company down worldwide. And so it was a really big blow, because that's what I had trying to get ready to go get this fight to get my daughter. And I said, you know, if you're a father in the United States of America, you really have a hard time. There's a bias against these men in family court wanting to be in their children's life. And it's almost like your child is a product, and they know that you're going to pay because you want that relationship with your child. So they've got these incentives that just keep going, and they have incentivized children. So I made Dad Talk as a resource that I wish I would have had when I was going through this. There's lots of education, parental alienation, and paternity fraud, so many different issues that these fathers are going through, and they needed somewhere to be educated on it, and they didn't have it. So,
this is really something passionate to me, because you know I lost my father at 2 years old, and I never had a dad. And so for not just the dads out there that want to have relationships with their children, the children out there, they also want that relationship with their children. And it is so sad that moms out there do this. They need to realize that even if dad is in jail, that is their dad. And, you know, some of them want to have a relationship, and that's between the child and the dad, right? And no matter how, you know, someone, I don't want to cry, but someone said, who could you bring back? And of course, it would be my dad, but I didn't know my dad. And so I think that's such a sad thing that moms out there do that. And so I really appreciate what you're doing. I shouldn't be crying, but I get emotional, and you know, it's a personal thing and stuff like that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You need to pause, because I'm falling apart.
Here you go.
I've got family court stuff as well in a book that's coming out. That would be
really?
My makeup and everything.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
You're okay.
I got a story that just happened. I'd like to tell you. That kind of goes in with what happened with your dad.
Yeah, so terrible. And I wanted to tell those moms out there, those mean moms out there, you know,
right.
because that's really what it is. It's so sad. And you know, Jeff's got so many stories, and all of us have so many stories. Okay, all right. So, all right. You got the camera? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Can you record? Or you got it going again? Okay. All right. I am back. I had a little cry. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
We're back, okay? So, you know, like I was saying, I really would like moms out there to realize that it's such important that children have a relationship with their father. And tell me more about your show and some other stories that you can share with us on what you're doing for dads.
So the show is going a little bit of everywhere. We're on about every platform right now. Just to give you a little bit of a story in who that we're talking to, little did I know when I first started this show, I had a guy that was watching my show named John Allen Mast out of North Dakota. He had been fighting for his children. He had faced a false allegation, and the mom was keeping him away from his child. 3 years they kept him away from his child, and he finally proved his innocence last May. He was completely exonerated. He had video to show he didn't do any of the things he was accused of. They waited until December to tell him when he was going to be able to get custody of his kids after waiting 3 years and being exonerated in May. And then after December, they tell him when. He was supposed to get him a couple of weeks ago. So there was a designated meeting spot. He was finally about to see his kids. When he gets to the meeting spot, the ex-father-in-law gets out of his car and murdered him. Mm-hmm. We just spent the past couple of weeks traveling across the country, and we've been documenting what's going on with this father right here that was murdered. He lost his life fighting for his children and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars inside of the family law courts. If they do not wake up, we're going to see the destruction of our society nationwide. This is the #1 issue, and I'll say it in front of anybody here at CPAC, it is the #1 issue that we face, because all these other issues that we face fall under the family.
family is everything, and nobody is really focusing on it. I've heard Candace Owens talk about it a little bit, but we've got to get people to really start focusing on that. And we talk about our youth. Our youth aren't being taught morals anymore, and they need parents to teach them that. If you're not making laws so that they can have parents in their life, it's just going to keep happening. So it's time this country wakes up and starts talking about the things that matter.
You're 100% right. I say that this is the number one problem, as well as education. So being that at-risk child, knowing what that situation is, what did I do? I focused all my energies into my studies and in my books. That's what took me away from all that trauma, from all that anger, from all that depression. And so not only is the parent and the family unit important, our education system in America must be reformed.
Well, those have became indoctrination camps almost. I mean, we've got a lot of work to do on that as well. I mean, there's so much different influence on our kids right now, school being one of them, their entertainment that's just teaching them all these different things, and parents is the best way to fight back at that right now.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And we're going to get this out there. We're going to get this out there. We're going to help you. We want to, let everybody know around the country about what you're doing to listen in on your radio show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.